Count down. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, this is Inuyasha Feudal Combat. Doing all characters percent, normal mode. Doesn't really change much except for the block rate. And I have Nylan, who we saw earlier, do an amazing run.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm
Mr.
Nylan.
Nugs.
Yeah, he's probably swapping out, but he'll be here. Yeah. So we're starting with Shippo?
Yes, because in my experience, Shippo is the hardest character because his combo is very RNG dependent.
I would agree. It's definitely tough. It's a one frame, so if you're just mashing it, it's RNG. You're just going for luck.
Hopefully we don't see how acrobatic he is, but
yeah.
Yeah, but we're good to go whenever. Cubone, all you gotta do is count me off and we can get this thing going.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we're off. Yeah, as Cubone said, Shippo's combo is pretty tough. He has this like head bonk combo. You're gonna see him do it a lot. If the trick fails, Shippo will bounce off them and like fall into the ground with the recovery animation. If he lands it, the trick, it'll look like Shippo will just headbutt over and over again, without any recovery. And then the backup kind of version is to transform just to be like extra safe. That happens if you do it early, and it's like better than falling on your butt, basically. But perfectly, it does that where he just immediately goes into a headbutt instantly instead. Both are very good. And that's good. Shippo's nice because it's a 1v1, right? Like it takes the team part of the game out for the most part, which can make the game less crazy. Nugs, did you play a lot of Shippo or any really that much? I think you have a record with him though, right? Like not like a record, but
yeah, I did. I did. I started trying to do some Shippo stuff. I did these balloon bouncing strats and the transformation. I thought about doing the Fox Fire strats where Shippo will actually just send out a lot of different items, which if Shippo actually releases the horse, it does an immense amount of damage, but I didn't want to grind that kind of RNG, so I just stuck with the more safe, consistent-ish strat of just ballooning on them.
Yeah, you're kind of seeing it here, but like when the enemy's near a wall, they tend to get flattened against the wall, and he's really good. Shippo's like really good when that situation's in the case. If he's in the middle of the screen, it's not that great, but what Nugs is saying is also really good for that type of thing. Like if you're in the middle of the screen, most of Shippo's combos kind of suck, but if he pulls a horse and it pushes him all the way to the wall, not only will it do crazy damage, but it'll kind of set him up. It is random. He has like 3 to 4-ish items, and like the horse feels like a 20% chance. Feels like pretty low, but it's really strong.
This is the first level that shows it off, but there is like, what's the word? Hazards, like these rocks.
Train hazards.
Yeah, thank you. And if you can knock them into any of them, it does a good amount of damage.
Yeah, I think these boulders, when they fall on them, do like 30-ish% of a life bar, which is quite a lot. So it's great to get that extra damage. It's basically like a full combo for Shippo on top of whatever he's hitting with. There aren't that many, as you can see, they're mostly on the top of this stage, and the first 2 are really easy to go for, but then afterwards you usually get spun around, and it's not as easy to prep for those as it is at the start of a round.
Yeah, Shippo's an interesting character too, because Shippo
is the horse.
There's the horse. Let's go. We get to see it. But Shippo's one of the few characters that actually, that doesn't have a partner. So it's kind of nice that you don't have to worry about switching the team formation. But it's also kind of bad because you don't get any extra chip damage or anything with a partner for a stun lock.
Yeah, there's like positives and negatives because in this game, generally speaking, you have to you kind of share lives with your ally. So a conventional strat you'll see later on is like kind of taking out one of both of theirs and then killing one of them, and that'll like end the whole thing. Shippo just kills one dude 3 times. So like in a way, it's like, I mean, it's faster because you're killing one guy, but it's also kind of slower. If your ally really like works with you, you can kill both of them really quickly and then just kill the other one a second time, and it's like faster than him. But Shippo does have a much shorter story mode, so we're gonna see it end not that far from now.
He only has the 3 fights, and this is the hardest out of them all, in my opinion. Just because
definitely
is quicker.
Yeah, he's quicker. He guards like a lot more than the other two. It's kind of like the difficulty was set to like, you know, first round and second round kind of feel like first and second round for like an Inuyasha. But this third one feels like they set it to like final boss level, where they were like, yeah, this is the final fight. So they just went from 1, 2 to like 7. So yeah, it's pretty scary.
Plus, Sesshomaru has a poison whip that he likes to do.
Yeah, he also likes jumping, which you saw kind of gets him knocked back often. So it doesn't let us combo as much as we like. There, it worked out.
Plus, clearly he loves blocking, but still not the worst at it in the game.
Yeah, luckily he likes attacking, so he can't block while attacking, so he'll oftentimes get hit. He doesn't have like the fastest moves, honestly. His claw is good, but a lot of his sword moves are very slow, and you're seeing him do them a lot. So he's kind of getting beat out by Shippo's headbutts.
Yes, this game's very deceptive in terms of like how important positioning and timing is, because if you can get right in that timing, you can see how it had like kind of lightning parry, but if you're positioned right, so like Shippo's small, and if you time it right, you can kind of miss some of those hitboxes and then get in there really quick again.
Yeah. Similar to what you were just mentioning, like jumping into hitboxes, like during the headbutt, that sword swing landed, but from the ground it won't. So really impacts things.
And Shippo's done.
Hello, Shippo. You'll see a lot of clashes, which we were saying before as well, and Shippo's pretty good at getting those because the attacks are pretty quick. Inuyasha is really good at winning clashes because he kind of just goes swing, like pretty quickly. So even if he does clash with somebody, he probably just outright beats them after. Unlike maybe like Moroku is a good example of somebody who loses a lot of clashes.
Also, I hope y'all like Sesshomaru because he's up next as the playable character.
Heck yeah. Big fan of Sesshomaru. He has kind of half and half. Like some half of his fights are like solo, and then he gets a little bit of fights where he's not solo. But pretty much just solo most of the time.
Yeah, so Sesshomaru has actually taken probably one of the most differences in terms of routing from when I started the game and now. It was definitely a lot tougher to use Sesshomaru, and we relied a lot on timing and I guess kind of like spacing in the RNG of trying to make sure like the correct moves were going to be used versus now.
Yeah, Sesshomaru has like very peculiar moves. Like he has a bunch of really fast, like his Poison Claw move, and a bunch of extremely slow moves. And his damage is pretty good, but it's definitely not exceptional by any means, especially compared to his brother. And then he has, you know, his like air move. His air moves are insanely good. The whip in particular is used in the record strat, but it is very tight to loop it. So we won't see a ton of it. You may it's possible you might see a little bit of it against maybe Demon Inuyasha. It's not too hard to use against him specifically, just because the stage you're fighting him on has a lot of poison walls. And it has a lot of range to it, so you can kind of keep him far away from you. But other than that, if we get like a good like loop of this sword string you're seeing here, it actually deals quite a bit of damage. Poison Claw's a bit tough because it's like it's really fast, but it's unsafe after you hit it. So you kind of hope they won't stop you.
Runs right after him going on top of it.
we go. Beat up Koga again. I'm kind of upset that Koga gets beat up so much in this game. I just loved him in Inuyasha. I loved his character. I thought he was so cool. Like sticking shards in your legs to just become a tornado is just so cool. And they just did him so dirty in this game.
It's weird that he doesn't have his own story with how much he's in
That's what I was
these.
about to say.
Yeah.
And here
He should've.
comes Kikyo.
Let's go. The one true love. Kikyo stands, rise up. All right. I know there's a lot of Kagome lovers, but we're the Kikyo fans.
You know, if she wasn't very evil, then maybe it would be a little easier to stand by her.
Hey, man,
I like her a
lot.
lot, but I think it's tough when she's just like evil. So.
Or when she's firing arrows at me.
Right.
She
I
can
see your dodge is
infinite
cool.
loop that.
The arrows in this game are so brutal.
Yeah, those arrows are very brutal in this game. They don't just hurt you, but they hurt your soul. Like you get hit with one, you're like, oh, here we go. Let's see how long this is gonna take till we get to attack again. But looks like we got a pretty good loop so far.
Yeah. The arrows are definitely why she got pinned to that tree for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Because they're a problem for sure. You can kind of get around them a little bit with like a bit of blocking and stuff in this game. It's not used that often to block, but against her specifically, it comes up a little bit.
Yeah. Kagome could never.
Never blocked or not?
could never game out like Kikyo does in this fight.
Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty
Also,
decent.
Coming up next is, I believe it's the Kagura fight.
I believe so. It's a little tricky, but it's not too bad.
Well, in this fight, Kagura is actually on your side, which makes
Yeah.
no sense to me.
Yeah, they just made that up. They had to give him a team fight somewhere for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically the common goal after a while, if for those that have seen Inuyasha, they do share the common goal where Naraku's got to go. But as for the side by side, yeah, it's a little scuffed.
Yeah, it's not quite the expected team on both ends. Like, of course, Kaku's often mind controlled, but it's a bit tricky to say that this would happen this way.
Yep. And this is one of these stages we first get to see the miasma gas, which actually can work to your advantage if you can get Naraku over, because it'll do a little bit of that, like, bleeding on his health poison.
Yeah.
And Naraku does it himself.
Yeah, might walk over it. Like, so it deals a lot of damage per frame, and on top of dealing a lot of damage per frame, it also can really it could expand like that and become a big problem for your own team, like what's gonna happen to Kagura here.
Rest in peace. Love her.
Hopefully I dodged that.
Well, I think you lost because of Kagura though, right?
The side hero can die, it doesn't matter.
Then yeah, you're fine.
Like,
so we'll
it's
see
so
the clutch up. Kaku's posted up, dude. He's trying to run defense. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, not the bees. Oh, no. Naraku's like LeBron in the fourth quarter, dude. This is getting insane.
Damn.
And I died.
It's all right. It is tough. Any Naraku fight's bad, but especially this one. Oftentimes Naraku doesn't have much of an ally. This fight's pretty unique in that he has somebody with him.
And
You
the worst
kind of-
character in all of Inuyasha. Crazy.
Pretty much. I mean, he's mind controlled for like 99% of it. So
Yeah, he's bad.
Naraku blocks a lot, but on top of blocking a lot, he is just kind of his block is kind of better than normal. And he does this invincible teleport with only like a little bit of vulnerability as he drops to the floor after it. So you kind of have to sync up your attacks or hope he teleports over poison. And if all goes well, you can basically just loop both of them. So far, so good. Oh, he's on poison too?
I don't want to kill Naraku right now. I want to kill Kohaku first, but that ain't gonna happen.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it didn't happen.
Let's
Close.
talk about the stances.
But now it's a 2v1.
Yeah, so there are 4 colors here. There you see them on top of the screen. These are with your teammates. There's like red, blue, green, and yellow. Yellow tells your ally to run towards you and defend you. Red has them do assist attacks by default at the end of your strings. I think blue makes them target the same target, I think, and it's green that's the other target, or vice versa. And those are generally what they do. Switching between them can do some crazy AI stuff. It's mostly useful with like Songo being your ally. But we don't use it too much, especially as Sashomaru. He only has 1 fight in which it's there, and Kagura's a really weird teammate to use it with. So yeah, this is a pretty common strategy. You kind of push him towards the poison, hope he kind of like falls on it, and then walk away from him. You can see even off on the ground, he'll take a lot of the hits of it. He's much easier to kind of push and pull onto places.
I mean, even if you can get them down, like health bar depleted on it, they'll be taking damage when they come back. So
yeah, it's very, very good. And yeah, because he's like a melee character, he'll just run into it and honestly kind of screw with you. And yeah, you can push people while they're down a bit, so it's a little bit easier to manipulate their position. We got pretty good RNG here. The poison clouds, like where they come up, is random, but it's definitely nice when they kind of play favorites on exactly where.
But unfortunately, this is not the only Inuyasha fight that Sashomaru has to face.
now we're against Demon Inuyasha, which, Nalan, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he the fastest in this game?
He's definitely really high up if he isn't the fastest, but he's basically the fastest, yeah.
And as you said earlier, Sashomaru is quick, but not as quick.
Yeah. Like, luckily, the sword combo kind of has a good, like, as you saw, clash frames where it kind of, like, hits the first hit into the second hit pretty quickly. So if it does clash, it'll probably beat him. But outright speed is kind of tough. But luckily the AI for this fight's weirdly terrible. Like, Demon Inuyasha, if you play him against him on a lot of bonus modes, is insanely good. But the AI here is pretty tame when it comes to attacking. He does block a lot, but kind of better than just getting uppercutted 100 times. That, like, uppercutting move, if you play as him, you can basically just uppercut loop everybody in the game, like, 7 times. So it would be really crazy if he attacked, like, a ton, but luckily he oftentimes doesn't.
Yeah, this fight was the bane of my existence when I first started running this game, especially because, I mean, at the time, there wasn't a whole lot known about it, and it was tough to get the speed if you don't know how to kind of not get guard attack looped. Was the big problem we used to have when we first run it, where Inuyasha would guard and then immediately attack again, and there was kind of no way to get around it. But it's good to see that this has been made a lot cleaner and more consistent.
Yeah, like, stopping early in this game is significantly better. For some reason, the enemy AI doesn't really know what to do if you stop your combo early. It, like, thinks it has to block for the whole combo. See, like that? So, like, it oftentimes will just lose if you just do attack, attack, nothing, attack, attack. Which helps deal with Demon Inuyasha being kind of a jerk.
And that's the Sashomaru chapter.
Let's go, gamed out.
So far, no significant deaths. The one death was, like, on a really likely death fight.
Yep.
So
Hey, buddy.
it wasn't, and also wasn't, like, super far into the fight. We're getting to the 2 kind of more RNG heavy chapters. The more people on the screen, the more likely things can happen. So
is that right?
there's a lot that can happen in Moroku's especially. But Inuyasha's can get pretty bad in the Kikyo fight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because in the Kikyo fight, you're playing as human Inuyasha and no overpowered strats.
Yeah, we appreciate you giving us the heads up.
Yeah, you don't have many of the better moves for Inuyasha. You do have a pretty fast sword combo, luckily, and it has an uppercut on it. But other than that, not anything to work with.
The one
Share your whole
fun thing about this chapter or this character selection is they always fight together, and you get to choose which one you want to play as for all except for one fight, which is after this one.
Yeah, they it's pretty cool that you get to pick. You might be thinking like, oh, why you play Moroku over Songo? Isn't like Songo better, or which one is better between the two? Songo is better, but the ally for Songo is also a lot better than Moroku. And so we prefer having her as an ally overall. It saves a lot of time. Playing as her is cool. She has great combos. She's fast. She does a lot of damage. But the Moroku AI oftentimes uses barrier too much or tries to throw seals, which just aren't really viable moves to be using over and over again. So we would much rather have her with the ability to do that slamming boomerang attack in the middle of her combos, or especially if she does boomerang throw, all of which are really strong options. Boomerang throw, if an attack hits an opponent after a boomerang hits, so boomerang lands, then your attack lands, then the boomerang's allowed to double hit. Also, if you're near a wall, the boomerang could cause a wall splat, which will then allow them to be hit with the boomerang again. There's a lot of instances where double hit boomerang's possible. It does like 40%. Like, it does like 25% of the health. It's a lot.
And right click it, and what options does it have?
Yeah, it's very interesting choice to like have just the choice of Moroku and Songo instead of giving them their own kind of stories. They just grouped them together.
Yeah, this is the only fight, like they fight each other, which is different because depending on who you chose. And the terrain in the second stage, if I remember, or not this one, the third stage has a lot of strategy to it. This fight is really like unfair.
RNG on what Kagome does.
Yeah.
Normally, what's supposed to show on this is supposed to.
Kagome has 3 primary attacks we care about. She has this like melee combo, which is like it's okay, and she has her charged arrow, which does a slam. Charged arrow is really good if the enemy is gonna be like near a wall, because it'll cause a wall slam. You can just follow up off of it. But if they're in the middle of the screen, it kind of is unfortunate when she does it.
It would be just the game's window, so I guess it's not working here. Here, this is OBS.
Surprisingly meleeing a lot for her.
This should be right.
I'm not gonna complain.
On the last one.
I just hope she helps when it's Inuyasha's turn.
Yeah, she's very relevant in Inuyasha's story, and you kind of want her to get like really well-timed charged arrows right at the end of Inuyasha's combos, so you can go right back into hitting them off the wall.
Go into File Settings in the OBS in the top left.
And
yeah.
That's why we play as Moroku, because his AI is just... It's one of the AIs of time.
Yeah, it's not very good. He throws talismans that don't really deal any damage. They kind of stun you a little bit. He's just not very strong. This upcoming stage has a lot of strats involving the boulders we saw earlier.
Alright, sorry, I had to update
and it's
someone else.
not too hard to get setups off of the boulders.
Under audio here, yeah. So we got 48 stereo.
I don't think... I know what stage you're talking about. I don't think that's in Moroku and Songo's.
Is it not? Oh, it's the second fight in Inuyasha's, right?
Yeah.
It's against Moroku and Songo. Yeah, my bad. This stage is weird.
Something like that, because it's a beta. Everyone who has the OBS has access to it.
These aren't a good team of characters, Kagura and Kaku. So generally when you fight against them in story mode, it tends to be pretty easy. As long as they're under even a little bit of pressure. Just because Kahaku's pretty terrible in this game and Kagura's not much better.
You can just stay in here.
Yeah,
I
I,
mean-
like the choice. I like the choice that Cubone makes in his 100% run of starting with Shippo and then Sesshomaru, and then working backwards. Last time I did mine, I started with Inuyasha and kind of went through that way. But I think I like your way better because at least that way you have the two kind of like more difficult style of fights first, like with Shippo being a strange
Yeah.
little creature, and Sesshomaru having to deal with like Naraku and Demon Inuyasha is I like that. I like that switch.
Yeah, I play pretty similar. I do Shippo, then Moroku, then Sesshomaru, then Inuyasha. But the only reason for that is because like I have the Sesshomaru thing down really tight. I can do it every time for the most part. So it's got very little variance.
Hey, cutie.
But there's a lot of RNG in the Songo Moroku story. So I've lost a lot of runs after I finished the Sesshomaru going backwards, and then I'm always like sad that I didn't just do them first.
Very true.
Okay, sorry.
But I agree. The idea is to go with whatever's the most like scary or tricky first. Inuyasha's is pretty simple. It is like heavy in the RNG to get like the fastest times, but in all chapters sentiment, it's not like all that different between run to run.
Okay.
Go Millipede death on the first health bar. We like that.
Awesome.
Love
Hey,
that.
dude, it's Glitch. I'm just on and up.
Yeah.
Millipede does have a like it always follows the exact same track, so you can plan around its exact movements sometimes and like get a lot of damage.
Is good on your end.
I'm actually gonna try use it in the Inuyasha fight, but
Yeah, it's
I'm
common to
not
use it in the
most
Kikyo fight.
consistent.
Yeah, the first hit for it is really hard. You have to get her near this like right fence here, right in between the wood and that dirt.
Right.
If you uppercut her pretty early in the fight, I think it's like 6 seconds in, she'll hit the millipede coming out of the top hole and take a bunch of damage. And then like I think it's like 12 seconds in, it'll spawn on that like that hole behind them, and you can push her towards there too. But
Also-
the first one is the hardest.
Also, you saw we destroyed it. It does come back. I've learned that the hard way in runs, and it just pop out of nowhere. And
Yeah, it does a ton of damage, so it coming back when you think it's dead forever, it definitely can just straight up kill you.
1 second.
It does take a bit to come back, so it's even more deceptive.
Kamari sent us the JSON file.
Oh, yeah.
For the OBS or whatever, or like
This is another one of those Naraku Kohaku things. But unlike the other time, Songo is really, really good against Naraku. So this fight can honestly turn into a roll against Naraku. Like, if she plays ball like that, you'll see a ton of damage be dealt to him. Also, Boomerang has a good chance of just randomly tapping him out of a teleport if she actually decides to throw it, because it whips around the place.
Yeah, the
I was about to
teleport's
say
on Naraku.
gonna play that
I'm
now.
gonna go my head to the left side. Or the left headphone, basically.
He's just trying to live. That's all you gotta think about. He's just a man with a plan. He's trying to survive. You gotta teleport to get away when you're a menace like Cubone, just absolutely shredding his health bars. He's gotta do what he's gotta do.
There's a rarely used mechanic that kind of works out in this fight. You can grab in this game to go through that armor that Naraku has, like his guard.
Really?
It doesn't.
I didn't even know that you could grab.
Yeah, you can grab them. It does almost no damage. What your character does, you just grab them and throw them up into the air. But if your ally is kind of close, they'll oftentimes combo off of it, which makes it kind of usable. Naraku's usually kind of annoying to do that to, just because he can teleport out of his guard. But if it works out, like he's just sitting there guarding your ally, you can get it.
Hey, Naraku's definitely defeated now, right, guys?
And
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, like
He'll never come back ever again.
We defeated him. Like he's supposed to be gone. Like we're done.
I'm curious.
So like, congrats on beating Sesshomaru and this story Moroku's chapter. So we're good, right? Like,
That's it. Wait, why are we selecting Moroku again?
yeah, like I thought we were done. Like, Naraku is defeated. That's like the final boss of the storyline, right? Wait,
I
what?
know,
No,
I
instead
know
we
there's
just-
DLC for this.
There's DLC. Just a lot of content, guys. So
No, we just got rid
Naraku
of
didn't
Kohaku.
die the first time.
Yeah,
He just
that's
like
basically
fell
going
asleep,
back.
right? Like he was
So,
going easy.
Yeah, I can hear you
So
in both on
now he
Discord.
wants to
I know
1v2
it's in
you.
OBS, so hit the properties on
It is
Um,
regeneration or whatever they call it in this series.
yeah. So
the
if you're curious, like
No.
what stops the AI from just teleporting forever? The answer is they can't.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. It costs nothing for him to do it.
is the balance side
His AI is very
anyway?
incentivized to do it, so he does it as one of his
Okay, so
primary
it's-
actions. And unless he deems himself to be safe after a teleportation, which is it's not clear what he deems to be safe, he'll just teleport again.
Okay.
Oftentimes we try to hit him out of the recovery of teleport, so it's pretty frustrating when, you know, he teleports, we barely miss him, he teleports again, but it's just the life we lead. And it's not really viable oftentimes to like intentionally stop him from teleporting because what I mean by that is like your ally might be near where he teleports to and he'll re-teleport anyway. Like it's not very easy to like run away from him to cause him to stop, because even if you do, you would just run back towards him and he would do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want your voice to kind of be peaking at like minus 50.
All right.
Close
There
up
we
shop
go.
here. There we go.
Now
Yeah, boomerang
he's
throw
gone.
really good.
Now
He's gone for now. We'll have to meet him in the Inuyasha story.
We just needed the Shikon jewel, so we had to kill Kohaku. We had to yank it from him and then use it on Naraku.
So-
It's all good.
Got a little sus there. Almost a little bit of a death was possible, but we make it to the end. No issues. No death.
You know, I never thought about that. In order to complete the or return the jewel shard to whole, we have to take it from Kohaku.
Yeah,
And lore-wise, Kohaku is
a zombie.
well, he's sick. And
He is
the-
sick.
Also, my favorite line of
Yeah,
the game
that's good.
coming up here, so we're gonna take a second of this
Let
cutscene.
me get that over here just so I can hear it on that side.
I
I
never knew who he was.
I'm Inuyasha. What a classic.
Yeah. The
Game audio is just
it's kind of funny actually. Like I always thought about this, and it kind of happens in the series. But like, even if Kohaku is sick,
Right.
Kagome at any time can just go back to the future and pick up medicine. Like, it's not too bad. Like, he probably just has like, you know,
Yeah.
something
I would
pretty
say
curable
they
with
hit,
over-the-counter
like, at least
medication.
minus
He's just got the
30,
flu, the common flu.
minus 30 and minus
Yeah,
30.
he's got the common flu. Got to give him a demon jewel to give him back his life.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, so I brought back some lozenges," and he just goes back to being good. This is great RNG.
Yeah, the wall ride is super good.
Yeah, you want to do the slam and get an arrow to restand him, so that you can get another combo,
Let me go ahead and hear it from there.
and that's ideal. Got directionally destroyed. There it is. Boom, bop,
The
bang.
corners, they can
Reese.
just mess with the AI sometime. And Inuyasha will just like change how he's attacking.
We got our time.
Yeah. He's got a lot of like thrusts and overhead slashes, which are really not good at tracking.
Sounds pretty decent.
Yeah.
The audio level for the game is good. It's like at a good mild level. Just turn your mic up a little bit more.
All right.
Once again, we have to destroy our boy Koga for no absolute reason at all.
Yeah.
That's, I think that
We have
would
to take
work.
him out
doing
in
it
every
this
time.
time. We
Yeah,
gotta
it's not
protect
going to rent,
Kagome.
really. So even at its peak, I think it's.
I mean, he's not
He can
gonna
choose.
actually hurt her.
Just let her be with the wolf boy. That's, I mean, who
Sure,
cares?
man. That works. Thanks.
I mean, it's
We
a
see
dog
how
and a
Twilight
wolf.
did.
Pretty good.
Really?
Like if she had the necklace
Uh-huh.
on Koga instead, I think it would
Alright,
go
yeah.
mostly the same. She'd be
I'm
like, "Sit,
glad
boy,"
you
and
brought
then
that up. Because this fight's gonna show off good, hopefully. But the next fight,
oh,
Good.
for any Gikyo stands, we get a little bit of revenge on
You
Kagome.
want to the host PC for some stuff, and then I'll be right back to you.
Yeah, this stage and fight is super fun because there's like a lot of maneuvering them into hazards that deal tons of damage to both of them. And it's just kind of fun to be able to like corral them in this stage. There's a lot of like ability to like lump them together, unlike in other stages, due to these like rocks and other formations on the stage. So as you've seen, like he's trying to take out character 1, then character 2, then character 1. So he's trying not to like accidentally double kill Moroku, for example, because they share lives, but as seen before, the second character dying doesn't really matter. So they'll just die and nothing will happen. You don't win. But first character dying, you win. So we want to do a little bit of 1-2-1 on most of the fights. There are rare circumstances in that, like a 1-2-2-1 could be okay, I guess, or like whatever, or a 2-2-1. I mean, but I've almost never seen it. Like there's like the pagoda stage is one of the only ones where that could maybe happen. So like I think that's coming up right now, right? You drop like the pagoda on them. So like you can drop this on them by breaking the pillars, and sometimes they're all of the enemies are underneath it, right? And so it falls on both of them, killing them both. It does a full life bar. And there are times where it doesn't fall on both of them, and in that instance, if it falls on only like the second player, for example, like killing the second player twice is like fairly viable.
Incredible. Incredible.
But
That was good.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Kagome would be up under there too, but
Oh, come on, buddy. Don't be like that.
all the time
She's been gaming out.
Inuyasha, he's gotta get some revenge.
She's been gaming out this run. You can't do her dirty like that.
I will say she's been doing good this run.
Yeah, this stage can go pretty fast. There are a couple ways to play out the pagoda. I use the right side pagoda, but it's more dangerous, but it's a tiny bit faster. And then the left side pagoda allows for Kawaku to jump back up and get stuck if he runs off the right side sometimes.
And normally Kagome, she likes to just stand in the middle, which will keep their AI in the perfect spot.
Yeah, you can always like use yellow or something to make sure she doesn't move around too much sometimes. So this is what we were talking about before. You can see like you can kind of move her underneath this millipede and uppercut her sometimes into it at the start. And then otherwise you want her around here so that once the millipede comes out of this wall, it'll hit her, or right there when it goes into.
Supposed to hit her, not me.
Yeah. And then it can come out, and again, she can get hit by it a second time. So like, if all three of those occur, she will just be dead for this life. Our damage is really bad because the developers thought it was funny for him to do like 0 damage. Weirdly enough, his frame data is kind of better than Inuyasha's. He just does no.
Maybe a little bit less, but
so he attacks
probably
faster.
I'll hop on over real quick. And
In exchange.
All right, viewers out there, you got to put in your poll right now. Who has more beautiful hair, Kikyo or human Inuyasha? They both got beautiful locks. I need to know right now. I need everyone who's watching to put your votes in. All my Inuyasha stands out there.
One is like a dog, so like it could be like a coat. So like,
but it's
maybe
the human form.
Yeah, but you know, it could still be this. You know, like it turns from white to black. Like maybe changes. Maybe it's the same. Alternatively, she was pinned to a tree for like 1,000 years. Maybe that does wonders for her hair. Like,
no, she's got borderline dreads then, right?
Yeah,
for
she got like
long?
sap in it.
Yeah.
So you know, like I'm thinking Inuyasha's got to be better. Like he's a main
we get to knock it out now.
demon, but like maybe it's like. Maybe when he transforms back, Nugs is right, and it's like shampoo. Like he just gets blessed up by the moonlight.
That's what I was talking about earlier with her arrows.
Yeah.
Let's see the clutch up.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Normally we do.
Yeah. So like because of our damage, you can see why we would want to use the millipede a lot in theory to deal damage, because we just don't got a lot of it. So any extra we take is good. This loop is pretty good. The only thing that can happen is sometimes like around some walls, You might slip past and miss a hit like there.
That.
Oh, so
and
close.
There's not much you can do about that aside from like micro reposition, like you punch and then walk like a tiny bit and then punch again. Other than that, we don't have much we can do, but that's it for the fight.
That was honestly one of the more scary fights I was worried about.
It definitely can flip, because if she gets you in an arrow loop and then like a millipede taps you, like it could be curtains.
I have lost full health bars to that single loop, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you're pretty screwed. You could like block some of it, but definitely not once it starts. Like millipede's not blockable. Alright, this is a 2v1 against Sesshomaru on Poison Town, so you know what that means.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One thing we forgot to mention last time we was fighting Naraku, even if he's blocking, the miasma or the poison goes through everything, and he'll still take damage.
All stage hazards are unblockable, so they just take the damage no matter what. There's nothing they can do.
Being down to showcase the game, I love that.
Yep, but this position's really good with Kagome if she keeps damaging him like that. Which there's one health bar, so it's good.
Also, Inuyasha, one of a couple characters that has no problem like hitting people who get up that step. A couple other characters like they're crying when it happens, but Inuyasha's fine. Kagome being this far away is a little tricky because she's gonna be like kind of desynced from your combo. But in a way, maybe that's what you want, you know? Maybe you don't want her, like, cranking your style. You want to 1v1 your brother. I mean, her taking free damage is kind of weird of her, but...
I mean, she's been doing good, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. Yeah. Shomaru's gone, right? So we're done, right? Like, her brother's... Like, that's all we needed.
Yep.
Except Naraku must be everywhere but Shippo Story. So
I would cry if he was in Shippo's story.
Yeah, he's not allowed to fight Shippo because honestly, Shippo would win. You know, that's got to be the reason why he's not there. He's scared of Shippo. So luckily, we get a 2v1 here. We got good smoke RNG, so we get to loop him really hard here. It looks like we got double smoke. Because it's still going. So even better. And then he goes right back into the smoke. What a guy. So far, very good. This is like, you know, tool-assisted levels of good. Alright. This isn't bad at all. Yeah, wow, he used his worst attack. Perfect for us. That's also a really bad attack from Naraku. Usually if he throws bees, we're kind of like, come on. But these attacks he's using really aren't good.
Well, they're good, but not for him.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Yeah, and this is the last fight, isn't it? Or is there one more Naraku? Okay, so time's coming up.
Time will come up when the last life bar, which is this one for Naraku, goes to 0. Which I mean, he's taking free damage. Here, so.
They'll be able to
Okay.
Of course, he got Kagome, and he's doing bees.
He's alright, okay. This can go south. Let's see.
So we got clutch up.
Poisoning.
I hate this camera angle.
Oh.
Alright, bam. Kagome, do your job. Okay, we got him. Time is over. We're the greatest of all time.
Nice. Good run.
It was great times.
Yeah, and that fight just showcases how quickly Naraku can turn the fight, especially when it's only him. You have to go through him 3 times, but
yeah, I've had a fight where I'm winning the whole time. He warps bees. I block the bees on top of poison that spawns around me, and then he spams bees nonstop while I'm pinned against the wall and poison, and then I just die.
yeah.
So yeah. Sometimes, like, there's just nothing you can do.
All right.
game.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah, that was an awesome run, Cubone. Really, really nice job on being so below the estimate and showing off all the characters in this game and all the different strats and tech skill that you've grinded. Very nice work, man. Happy to have you here. And Nylan, thank you for the commentary. Nugs, thanks as well. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for the next run, Full Metal Alchemist Dual Sympathy by Cutie. I'll actually be on commentary with him. So is there any last things you guys want to shout out or, talk about before we close out?
I do want to give one shout out. When I started running this game, it was me, Glitch, Nylan, and another gentleman named
Reese.
Riz. Nylan and Riz have both came up with some really good strats for the game to make it a lot more accessible to new people, and it's super fun.
Awesome, man. Yeah, shout outs to the boys, Nylan and Riz. Super good members of the community, super helpful, grinding, helping optimize so many of these games. So yeah, it's great. Thank you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get set up for FMA Dual Sympathy. Excuse me. So we'll be right back with you guys. Thanks.